Hello, hello. It is Sister Self Care Sunday. We'd like to welcome all our Facebook family and our YouTube family. So now we're streaming on YouTube, y'all. We have our Facebook Priority You. It's just Priority You or Priority You for You, and then on YouTube, it is Priority U underscore VH. So that's our new YouTube channel. So we like to welcome you all. It is Sister Self Care Sunday. Denise, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you today?
So listen, y'all. It's always something, ain't it? So I went and had brunch today, a solo brunch at this really nice restaurant in Canton called French Toast Bistro. And so I was sitting and I met two very interesting people there. They were very nice. And we striking up conversation and we're just talking about a lot of stuff, self-care, some of the trauma within our, within our community and different ways we can attack that trauma so that we can begin to heal and to thrive as a community, right? And I was like, oh, it's time for me to be heading back because I gotta do my Facebook and YouTube live. Well, I leave my credit card, y'all. The devil is a lie.
Oh
So
yeah.
I get text messages from the people I just met because we exchanged information like you left your card. So I had to go back, get my card, and then come back. So we just a little tardy for the party because we
Yeah.
supposed to start at 4 o'clock. But better late than never, y'all. So I'm excited to be here. And today we are talking about the importance of self-care for caregivers, for
Yes.
heroes of our families. Like, oh my goodness. Denise, but what's going on with you? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. And you know that this topic today strikes home with me because I am a caregiver every single day. Every single day. So this is, a topic here that definitely hits close to home. So
And I
hopefully
really
we'll
want
be
to,
able to help some people and help myself. No.
yeah, yeah, this one especially for you.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
you all, I want to tell you how much of a caregiver Denise is. Like, it's in her nature truly to nurture others. Like, since I've known her, we are not blood sisters, but we are soul sisters
Yeah,
because I tell you, we couldn't be any closer if we was blood. We couldn't be any closer if we were
yes.
blood. Back in I think it was like 2009 or 2010, I had cancer. And when I tell you my sister Denise was a caregiver for me, we went to doctor's appointments and I never forget my first doctor appointment. We had the notebook and everything. And I'm like, I'm gonna need you to take notes because I was like zoned out. I was like blood, like I'm just numb. Listen, my sis was writing notes down. And when I would go for my infusion to get my chemotherapy, she was like, my sister is allergic to this, this, and this. And she was like getting on their heads, like, do y'all have extra blankets? Did y'all do this? Did y'all do that? Listen, you got to have you a caregiver like Denise in
Girl, I don't know.
your life. Like my sister Denise, listen, I had times when I couldn't walk and she would have to, like, we would want to go to stores. So we would get a wheelchair and she would push me around that wheelchair, y'all. But that's love. That's love. And, she would come over and we'd be just sitting in the bed watching TV together. And sometimes the TV be watching us because we just watching any and everything. Any
Yeah,
and everything. It didn't matter what it was. We was watching it. And so I just want to take this opportunity to really extend my forever gratitude and thankfulness for you, Denise. I love you so much.
you
And
too.
I just thank God for you.
I know. Because there were so many times that they tried to give her what she was allergic to, and I would have to stop them. But yes, I love my little sister, and I thank God that I was able to go to every chemo treatment with her radiation treatments with her, and everything. And like I told her back then, we're going to be old and gray, sitting on a front porch, sitting in some rocking chairs, laughing and talking about things.
Yeah.
We didn't think that she was going to make it, but I
Listen, I was like, that initial, that initial. information of cancer. That initial diagnosis just kind of like, it kind of took me out, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But then, my faith kicked in, my support kicked in, Denise kicked in. And yeah, I'm just thankful. So, like I said today, I really want to extend my gratitude and thanks, and my forever appreciation to my sister Denise. And just knowing, again, that was her caring for me. But before me, she was caregiver for her kids and still a caregiver for her kids. How many of y'all out there can relate to, you know, you're caregiving for your kids when they babies, and when they not, you grown. But when they get grown, it seems like you caregiving even more. Like
Yeah.
it's a whole different kind of caregiving you got to give. And when you have sons, you on your knees praying even more because of so much that's going on with our young Black men. And just the mere color of their skin can make them,
Target.
a target.
Yes.
So I just know that, caregiving is really just a 360 approach to the people in your family. And,
Mhm.
Denise, let's get into the caregiving that right now you're caregiving with your grandchildren and with your mom
Yes. My mom.
and working full time,
Yes.
y'all.
Yes. My
Let's
mother,
get into
she
it.
has,
Let's talk about that, Denise.
so my mother, she has dementia. I have a grandson who has sickle cell disease, and then I watch my other grandkids. One, they're out of school, go pick them up for my son who actually works. On top of doing all of that, while working full time. And it is definitely, I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say, that it's an easy task because it definitely is not. And a lot of times I'll find myself, especially when you have someone with dementia, that's a very, very hard thing. And the reason it is so hard is because you see the person that you love turn into something other than, and not being able to think for themselves and, things of that nature. And you find yourself sometimes getting angry at the situation
Mm.
as well too. But when the doctors come out and check on my mom and everything, the only thing that she's taking is medication for her memory.
Okay.
And I make sure she has vitamin, B, vitamin D, vitamin C, and some other vitamins. And she's healthy as a horse. Otherwise, the doctor said, you are healthier than I am. It's just a memory. And
Mhm.
so with that, you see them, like I said, transform into something that's other than what you know. And it kind of makes you angry sometimes because, I have to tell her, no, I need you to think. I need you, because right now I do everything. Me and my husband, we do everything for my mom as far as, cooking for her and and giving her meals, making sure she's up, making sure she's bathed. Now I make her bathe on her own, and I have to give her tough love because my mother, she taught the mentally handicapped for 34 years before she retired.
Wow.
And like kids that they said that couldn't walk or whatever, my mother would help them to walk and do different things throughout her career. And she would always say, they said that they couldn't, but I said that they could. So I remind her of that often because
Mhm.
she can dress herself, she can bathe herself, she can go to the bathroom. The only thing that I do is, give her showers, and everything. But just having her to still do those things. Um,
Mhm.
on her own. And she may call me upstairs, Niecy, I need for you to come help me. And I'm like, what do you need, Ma? I need to wash up. Okay, well, wash up. I have to give her that tough love.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you're going to do some things on your own. You have
yeah,
to be independent. And just by having that stern, you know, uh, thing, because the doctors will tell you to keep them, doing their routine as long.
yeah. Try to get them to do as much as they possibly can on their own.
Yeah, and I am not one, and I'd be like, nope. And then sometimes, when I get too stern, and I feel bad, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. like, Lord, I'm like, because sometimes I get upset, and say, no, mama, you have got to do this on your own, and I feel bad, but she does it. And when I, tell her, nope, come on, let's do this, let's walk. Like when we went to my cousin's wedding, I'm holding my mama's hands because she wanted to dance off of Tupac.
Oh,
The wedding, and she was dancing and she let my hand go and I'm trying to grab it back, and then she let the other hand go. I'm trying to grab both of her hands back, and she like, girl, bye. And she's standing up there dancing and doing all like this and moving back and forth all by herself. And I'm like standing on the side of her, standing on the back, like if she misstep, then she gonna fall.
yes.
They saw the video on Facebook, they start cracking up. They're like, you was looking nervous. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't know if she was gonna, misstep or anything like that.
Right.
Hey, so if you can do all of that, then when you come in this house, you can still walk. Come on, because gravity with elderly people, they want to bend over. And
Absolutely.
tell her, no, mama,
Yeah,
stand,
yeah, yeah.
your head up, put your hands on your legs and walk. And she
Mm.
walks around so good when she does that. But if not, she'll put her hands on the wall. Nope, take them hands down. So it's just a constant thing, even with my grandkids and with my grandson, that has the ailment and everything, just making sure that they're taken care of. But it can get overwhelming, and that's what this
Yeah.
is about today, is how do we overcome that and what can we do to help us when it
Now,
to that.
here are some critical reasons why it's important for caregivers to really practice self-care. Number one, we're
Mhm.
talking burnout. You
Yeah.
need to prevent burnout because while you're busy caring for others, you
Mhm.
got to remember, if you allow yourself to be burnt out, you're not going to be able to care for them, let alone care for yourself. So
Exactly.
you have got to find a way that you can get a break in the day because you will begin to feel exhausted,
Yep.
fatigue, and
Mhm.
burnout can make you become less effective in giving the care to your loved ones. So you've got to remember, you got to protect yourself against burnout. The
Yep.
other thing, physical health.
Yes.
Burnout can lead to physical ailments coming
Mm.
on
Yep.
self-caregivers. When you're out there giving care to your family members and your loved ones, and you're doing this, that, and the third, if you're not making time for your health,
Yep.
your mental health and well-being, your emotional health and well-being. See,
Mhm.
caregivers need care too. And
Exactly.
that's what sometimes they forget, aka Denise, is
Mhm.
you have to make time to rejuvenate, to
Yeah.
revive and renew yourself. And it's just because when you are on the verge of burnout and your physical health becomes impaired, you become more susceptible to illnesses.
Yeah. That's so true.
And everything from COVID, because your immune system can get compromised because of all the stress, right?
Yes. That's
um Heart attack, cholesterol, stroke. So we got to watch this stuff. Then mental health.
forgetfulness.
Sometimes, you
All
know,
of
the mental health impacts of caring for a loved one is because when they're going through it, they're not going through it alone. Their family members is going through it. When
yeah.
I was going through my cancer, all my loved ones was going through it.
Yeah.
Denise was going through it with me. My children was going through it with me, right? Your loved ones are going through it with you. So the caregivers, they're actually going through it with the person that they're caring for. And that's a lot
Yes.
emotionally, mentally,
Mhm.
is a lot. And oftentimes they feel like I'm the strongest one in the family. I can tell you now, Denise's go-to for everybody. She the strongest one. She Wonder Woman and Superman, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, and Flash all roll up in one. You know, that's Denise. But everybody got to rejuvenate.
Yes.
After so long, even the Hulk had to rejuvenate. Iron Man had to tweak those doggone suits. Superman got to rest sometime, or that
Yeah.
kryptonite gonna get his butt, right?
Yeah.
So you have got to really watch that because what will happen is you'll focus so much on giving care, you'll lose yourself. When you
Yeah.
lose yourself, you'll start feeling depressed. You'll be tired all the time. You
Mhm.
won't have no energy. You may even start snapping at people because at this point, there is resentment coming in because you're giving so much of yourself away to help others. You don't have time for yourself.
Yes, that's so true. So true.
So there is reasons why the self-care for caregivers is so critical, y'all. And then improving the care of quality. So when caregivers take the time to care for themselves, guess what? They are actually going to improve the type of care they're able to give to the people that they love
Yes.
because they're more energized, they're
Mhm.
more relaxed, they're more, you know, uh uh just in a better mental space altogether to give that care, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're running on fumes and when your plate runneth over with stressful stuff, not with blessings, y'all, but with
Mhm.
stressful stuff, you begin to drown. It's like when you're in a pool, right? And if you can't swim, after the water get to be so high, you begin to drown.
Mhm.
You may see no way out if you let this thing go too far. So you have got to practice self-care. And then
Yeah.
the other thing is being a caregiver means you have to set boundaries
Yes, definitely.
because guilt will set in and people be like, well, I need your help for this, or I need your help for that. And sometimes you don't want to let other people down. I find our caregivers sometimes are they say yes to everything, even to their own detriment. And in saying yes to everything, you feel guilty about saying no to people. Even
Mhm.
when you're tired, you drag in the ground, you know, you've got to find a way to really set those boundaries. And sometimes you are going to disappoint other people.
Yeah, that
But
is
you
true.
know what? It's okay.
Mhm.
It's okay to disappoint other people. If it means, you know what? I know I said I was going to watch the kids this weekend, but I'm just burnt out.
Yeah.
If it means I know I was going to watch mama or take mama this afternoon, such and such place, but I've reached my threshold. When
Mhm.
you've reached your threshold, you've got to say no. You've
Yeah.
got to set boundaries. You've got to create a schedule where you say, you know what? This is my time. And on my time, I'm
Mhm.
going to X, Y, and Z. Like, I need this.
Well, you know what? It's interesting that you said that. And looking back now, when I was 28, I used to be that person. I did everything for everybody. This person needed me. Yeah, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. And then I got to a point to where I was like, you know what? No. And at the age that I am now, I will tell a person no. Like when I need a break from mom, I will take her food upstairs with and have turn her TV on to her favorite channel, let her
Mhm.
watch her shows, take all of her food up there so I can rest downstairs and just be on the couch watching television or whatever. And you have to find ways out, like if your friends call you and say, hey, come on, let's go out to dinner or do this or do that. You have to get family members to come in and to help, or to be able to go out and spend some time, and I'll go outside walking a couple of times throughout the day when I'm working, just so that I can get that break from the job, the break from being in the house, and even if you do it for just 5 minutes a day, but I do it continuously throughout the day. But,
Mhm.
I'm glad that that this didn't happen to me when I was 20s, in my early 20s, because right now I probably would be in a bad situation myself,
Yep.
because after 28, I didn't care what anybody thought about me, and I said people could think what they want to think about me. I'm going to be okay. It didn't worry me what another person thought about me. And but before that, everything did. Oh, I want to be this to this person, that to that person, and everything. So I'm grateful that it didn't happen during that time. I'm a little bit more wiser now. And actually, when I looked at, some of the things, because sometimes you don't, look at, when you're a caregiver, what burnout means, and the
Exactly.
different scenarios in which it tells you that you're burnt out. Sometimes you can be depressed being a caregiver and not even know that you.
Not even know it.
And that had been me, as well too. I've been that, and not knowing, and I'm wondering why I'm snapping at the grandkids or snapping at my mom and this, that, and the other, because it's a form of depression as well too. So you do have to, like I said, build your support group and different things like that. Set
Mhm.
realistic goals, set boundaries,
Absolutely.
taking breaks, going out with your friends, because being a caregiver can also mean that you're isolated. Because when
Yeah, yeah.
no, I can't go to this or I can't go to that or whatever, then you start feeling isolated, depressed, and all of this other stuff. So you definitely have to make time to just go out and enjoy it. Even if you go to the grocery store or go to the store and just walk around or whatever, you have got to get some time to yourself.
Absolutely. What I want to know in the comments, for those of you who are caregivers or know people who are caregivers, what is one thing that's a challenge for you when it comes to being a caregiver? In the comments, put your comments in there of what do you find that is challenging in being a caregiver for you? Because we want to be able to address those challenges. So put those in the comments of what's challenging for you. In the meantime, Denise did give you some tips on some ways that you can find time to, make time to self care for yourself. I'm going to give you just a few other ways,
Mhm.
but it's so important that you do it. Prioritize and schedule is going to be number one. When you're
Yes.
a caregiver, with your schedule, you want to make sure put all your things that you have, because oftentimes the first thing that come to mind is I don't have time. I know
Mhm.
what it's like to be a single mom or to be a head of household mom. Maybe the dad is on the road doing, what he can do. But you want to make a schedule, prioritize those things that are must do that only you
Yes.
can do, and then start looking for help. Ask
Mhm.
for help.
Yes.
I see Stacy says she's not a caregiver, but caregivers she see around her, they feel guilty, and they do.
Yes, we
They
do.
do. Hey yo yo, hey Stacy, thank you all for joining us. But yeah, so we're talking about today the importance of self-care for caregivers. I know yo yo, me and yo yo go back like wet clothes, y'all. We go back to like 18 years old. We've been knowing each other since my oldest son was like 7 months old. So she was 18. I was a little older, but anywho, the thing of it is, Yo Yo has been a caregiver and
Mhm.
continues to be one. And that's why we want to give you some tips, because we've talked about why it's critically important to be
Yeah.
practice self-care for caregivers because of self-preservation. And let me tell y'all something. There is nothing wrong with preserving self. That is not
That's true.
selfish. That is self-ful. And God never intended on us to be martyrs for other people and not take care of the life that He's given us,
Yeah.
right? He's blessed us with a life, not only to be of service to others, but first, how are we going to serve ourselves?
Mhm.
Because in serving yourself, that's where you tap into your blessing and into the fulfillment and purpose of who you're really meant to be. Okay. But let's get back into some tips. So, create a schedule, you guys. Think about what goes on in a month, create a monthly calendar, identify a list of tasks that you have to do as a caregiver, and
Mhm.
then prioritize which ones are those tasks that only you can do. Take a look
Right.
and see what support system you have around you
Mhm.
that can help out with some things. When
Yeah.
it comes to meal preparation, try to cook instead of making one meal at a time. You might have to make maybe two meals at a time and
Mhm.
get you some of those. They have those food storage seal machine thingies. I can't think of the name of it,
Yeah.
y'all, but when you had the plastic and you
Yeah.
seal your food up, it keeps your food good. I promise y'all for 2 weeks. I have one at home. That stuff is the bomb. So, you know, you have to start thinking of creative ways to meal prep, right? So that you make enough. So guess what? Folks can eat leftovers.
Mhm.
Now,
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
some people in my house, Jalen, don't
Uh,
really care for leftovers too much. But guess what? You're not hungry.
exactly.
You're not hungry because I eat leftovers.
Yes.
So learn how to, meal prep some
Mhm.
things so that you're not cooking every day. Think of some things
Right.
you can cook that's really quick, not really messy, so you can maximize your time. The next, again, seek support. We talked about support after you make that schedule because they have support groups out there as well, y'all. They have Facebook support groups and
Yeah.
they share resources. So tap into some of those. Also, stay active.
Mm-hmm.
You want to incorporate physical activity. I just read an article, you guys, about how physical activity helps stimulate your mind.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why I'm committed to getting back on this thing, because it makes you more productive, more innovative,
Yeah.
right? And it makes you healthier. Like, it makes your inside body come alive and keeps your brain stimulated. So, and it gives you energy.
Yeah.
So make time to be active. You can
Mm-hmm.
take short daily walks, y'all.
Yes.
See, we have none of us have any excuse why we can't get physical activity in. You
Yes.
can spend 15 minutes on physical activity a day, y'all.
Yeah.
There's nobody who could tell me I don't have 15 minutes for physical activity.
That's so true.
And here's the thing. This was a revelation for me. So when I speak to you all, I'm really talking to myself, because I don't want y'all to think that I'm not, I'm not in need of this. I'm really speaking to myself as well, because I think of people who are paralyzed. Think
Exactly.
about it. Who wish they
That
could
they
get
could
up
do it.
and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Got legs but can't use them.
Exactly.
We got legs and limbs that we can use, and we're not even taking advantage of it. And as soon as we get a situation where we can't use it, Lord, if only I could just walk. You could walk and ain't walking.
Exactly.
You could do something with your hands. You don't need, if you don't have any weights, y'all can get some canned goods in your hand.
Exactly. You better say it.
I'm so serious, y'all. I'm so serious. Them
You
skillets,
better say it.
back in the day, them big old skillets.
The cast
Oh, that
iron.
skillet, listen, get that shoulder
Mm-hmm.
pressed in with that skillet. Come on,
Yep.
y'all. If y'all really want to get some workout in, you can. And you have to, and you must. It's a part of self-care. So keep that in mind. And on Sister Self-Care Sunday, we're all about encouraging, giving tips, but
Yeah.
keeping it real. And we have to hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
So I'm going to love on y'all because I love y'all. And I want to see our sisters survive and strive. More than survive, strive, right?
Right.
A lot of us out there surviving. Surviving not fun, y'all. Surviving not fun.
Mm-hmm.
You want to thrive in life, because that was your birthright, to thrive in life.
Yes.
You was not born to struggle. You were not born to struggle. And Yo-Yo said it has taken her nearly 30 years to realize that. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And I know that for a fact, Yo-Yo. But it's so true, y'all. So let's just get into this a little more. So we also, another tip for caregivers, when we talk about self-care, meditate and breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, baby, when stuff getting heavy, you cannot leave the house. You cannot go on a long trip, but you can schedule 20, 15, 10 minutes to sit down in a room by yourself.
Yes.
In the still, and just breathe. You just inhale on a count, hold on a count, exhale on a count, hold on a count, and then repeat that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're breathing, going through this breathing exercise, you guys, you focus on your breath. You close your eyes and you just focus on your breath. And you help to really release all the noise that's going on.
Yes.
Because a human mind can only take so much.
That is true. Because I have gotten to a point sometime to where I felt like I just needed to jump out of my skin. And I'm like, oh my God, I may be getting ready to have a nervous breakdown or something. And then you have to just recharge. And just like sometimes my body, if I'm doing too much, like I have called in to my boss and say, hey, I'm not coming in today because you are just at the point of exhaustion. Whereas I have just slept all day, like for 2 days, and wake up and then go back to sleep and wait. But your body will let you know, and your body will shut you down if it needs to.
Absolutely. Now, the other thing as well is that in addition to, meditation and breathing, you also want to stay connected.
Yeah.
Because Denise mentioned isolation earlier, right? When you are a caregiver, sometimes you end up isolating yourself because you're so focused on what? giving care to somebody else. You need to reconnect with your community that supports you and uplifts you. That girlfriend, you can call because her butt can make you laugh. She can make you forget about some of the stuff that's going on. Y'all can reflect back on the good times when y'all could laugh and the fun times and just remind you of the wonderful person that you are. Right. So find time to connect with that friend that you haven't connected to. It
Yes.
could be a phone call. It could be a Zoom call. It could be, try to get a video call in where you can just, smile, because I could tell you, Yo-Yo said right, because I can tell you, I can call Yo-Yo now and we don't have to talk every week, every month. But when we do talk, it's like we pick right back where we left off.
Exactly.
And we reminisce on some stories. Oh my goodness. Like one story, I'm gonna tell y'all this story real quick. One story, I was coming to pick Yo-Yo. First of all, my girlfriend Yo-Yo is so I just admire her so much. She's so independent and so strong. I just admire her so much. But I was going to, she had an apartment. First of all, she moved up here from Meridian, Mississippi, first of all. As a teenager, just graduated high school. I couldn't imagine moving from down south to the city as a teenager.
Yeah.
She stayed with her aunt for a little while. That's a whole nother story. And then she ended up getting a job as an office manager of an electric company, a Black-owned electrical company, and got her own apartment. In this apartment complex, y'all, it was a little narrow. And at the time, I was dating somebody who had a 1971, I believe it was a Cadillac, baby blue. That was a big boy.
Yes.
A big convertible top, big boy. When I tell y'all I couldn't drive and I picked her up and I turned that corner and they had people parking on both sides, and that all I heard was steel on steel. I done scraped upside somebody's car. She was like, "You gonna stop?" I'm like, "Girl, no, I ain't gonna stop." She thought I was gonna stop and leave a note. Lord forgive me. But I was like, I don't know where this man insurance is, and I ain't got no money to pay for nothing. So he just left. But when I tell you, we had us a fun time. So take the time, y'all. Connect with that girlfriend who can make you laugh, lift your spirit, motivate you, and keep you going, letting you know what, you are enough and you deserve a break today. Okay. So get in touch and stay connected. Don't isolate yourself. Then the next thing, delegate tasks. I touched on that a little earlier.
Yeah.
You know what? If you got kids, I used to tell my kids, when I find out you can read good, you finna do laundry, because you can read what's cold, what's hot. You know what I'm saying? You're not washing nothing on your hands. The machine doing it all. By the age of 10, all my kids was washing, drying their own clothes, and doing dishes. Not dishwasher dishes, y'all. Dishes. Because when my kids was 9 and 10, we didn't have no dishwasher. They was the dishwasher. So teach your kids to pick up some of the slack and take up some of that responsibility. Them babies that's like 6 years old, they know how to pick up clothes. They know what light and dark is. Have them kids separate that laundry, child. Come on now.
That's true.
Y'all making more work for yourself because you trying to do it all for yourself, and your kids sitting around waiting. No, ma'am. No, sir. Kids to work. The next thing is educate yourself. Yes. When you are a caregiver, be knowledgeable. Find out what tools are available for you. Find out what techniques that may help depending on the type of care that you're giving.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do your research. We have the internet at our fingertips.
Sure do.
Look for some credible resources, because not everything out there is credible, but look for some credible resources and educate yourself. Practice saying no. We talked about setting boundaries. Saying no to people. Saying no is empowering, y'all.
Yes, it is. And you don't
want to do something and somebody asks you, "Can you run me such? No. And you don't even owe them no explanation. It's just no.
But you know what? When you said that, because I have a friend of mine and she is coming into herself now, because, I've been talking to her and she's like, I feel so much better. Girl, you got to say no, at times. You have to stop letting people walk over you. You have to, be able to, take control of your own life and your own destiny. And it is so liberating, and you will feel like a weight has been lifted off of you.
Stacy said, and saying no is a complete sentence. Amen, Stacy.
Yeah.
Complete period. With the period on the end. It's a
That's it.
subject, the predicate, and the period.
Yes.
Okay?
What part did you not understand? The end or the
Or the O. Come on with it now. Come on. That's that old school slick talk.
yeah.
What did you understand?
'Cause
Right?
these kids now, why? Because I said no. That's why I don't have to
You
go
know,
any other
sometimes,
explanation.
and you know, it's a fine balance with kids because I know in today's society, you know, folks that is so used to explaining stuff to kids, but sometimes it's just no. Like, hello, like if I say no, just no. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like, just no. So practice saying no. And then when you say no to somebody else, I want you to really envision, internalize. You know what you're saying? Yes to you. And don't you deserve to say yes to yourself?
Yes.
Stop saying no to yourself because we say no to we deny ourselves so much.
Yes, we do.
And we think we're doing a service. Let me tell you, the Lord did not put us here to continuously deny ourselves to our own detriment.
Yes.
Like, come on now, y'all. He didn't put us here for that. So learning that no to Stacy comment is a complete sentence with the period on the end.
Yes. Sometimes some explanation points behind that. Pew, pew.
That part. And then seek professional help, right? So there are tools out there you can use as a self-care to help you with your self-care, to help you get the structure that you need in your life. You know, you can get assistance from a life coach.
Yeah.
Hit me up in the DMs if you need help with this. Like,
Yes.
you
That's
know,
right.
get yourself a life coach that can help you get your life in order. If you feel that things may need a little deeper, maybe deeper rooted more than a life coach, um, get a therapist.
Yes.
But understand you need to get some help because oftentimes when it comes to providing care to oneself, really, it just needs to be a mind shift that needs to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard someone say today when I was talking with someone at brunch, he was like, the United Negro College Fund, they have that slogan is a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And if you don't have your mind set on the right stuff, y'all, you are wasting your mind
Yes.
and your time.
Yes.
So mindset, you need to have somebody that can help shift your mindset because somebody can give you the answer to something, but if they don't teach you how to solve that equation, when that problem come up again, guess what? You're not going to know how to solve it.
That's right.
So that's the purpose of a life coach. So get at me, y'all. Y'all don't have to be out here trying to solve them equations by yourself. Get some help where you can get it now.
And that's exactly what I do to my team too, because it's important. You can't teach something without teaching them the why behind it. If you never know the why behind it, you will never know how to get to that answer or when you really need to apply anything if you don't understand it fully of this is why we do this to
Right,
prevent
right.
it from happening, then then they'll be like, oh, I got that now. And then when that
Yeah,
situation comes, they'll know how to handle it. So yeah.
right. Absolutely. And the one thing about mindset, which is so amazing, I always go to the anecdote of the Wizard of Oz because God has given us all the answers in us, y'all.
Mhm.
Seriously, every answer you need about your life is in you. The problem that we encounter is that we have allowed so much outside noise to pour into us and we've been taught, conditioned even, not to tap into who we are at our core,
Yes.
not to seek our purpose. We've been conditioned, if you will, to, we go to school. Well, what are you going to go to school for? What do you want to be? Then we've been conditioned by the machine that, oh, if we go to school for X, Y, and Z because that means success. Or you're only successful if you have this, 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 and this.
Mhm.
And we've been taught to chase success off money and what others perceive as status.
Yes.
Okay. But to me, true success is what makes you most happiest and fulfilled.
Mhm.
To heck with what anybody else thinks you
Yeah.
are. If
Yes.
you are happy and most fulfilled being a teacher, I don't care if you have a doctor's degree. I don't care if you are a lawyer. If you know in your heart your purpose and your joy comes from teaching others, that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. Reinvent.
Reinvent yourself. And you know what? When you live in alignment with who you are,
Yeah.
your purpose, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, that's success. It's
Exactly.
many people out here that's killing themselves. That we look at them, they got the title, they got the money, but they're
Yeah.
miserable. They're
Exactly.
not happy. They're not at peace. That's not success. That just
Ex-
means you got some money. But if
Exactly.
you're not at peace, you don't have no joy, you don't feel fulfilled, guess what? You're not successful.
Yeah, that is so true. Yes, it is.
Some of y'all can go through this life and think, you know what? I'm gonna live my successful life. So when people see it, they think I'm successful.
Exactly.
Instead of you living your successful life with joy on the inside, knowing you're living according to what makes you happy,
Yeah.
according to the path that God planted inside you.
Yeah.
And we get unfulfilled because we out here chasing everybody else's definition of success.
Yes.
And then you wondering why you can't sleep at night. Then you
Exactly.
wondering why you're so miserable when you're pulling up to that job and you're like, Lord have mercy, if I had to deal
Give
with
yourself a pep talk to get in there.
woo, what you talk about? You try to call in. I can't come in today because you just miserable. Or
Yeah.
you starting to get high blood pressure every time you walk in here, you agitate.
Yes.
Somebody. Come on. So after seeking professional help, getting yourself a life coach to work with you, unless you have some severe trauma you need to deal with. If you got some trauma, you need a therapist.
A
Now,
therapist.
then
Yes.
the other thing is stay organized. That's
Mm-hmm.
where that calendar comes in. That's where prioritizing come in. That's kind of, that way you look at everything, and then guess what, y'all? Understand you ain't got to do every doggone thing.
Yes.
Some days
Delegate.
you don't feel like cleaning up. Guess what? Some days don't clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't clean up. Some days just don't clean up.
Exactly.
Yo, what you say? You said you just told your sister that I'm about to start back baking and cooking again, working toward my cap. Come through.
Yeah.
Amen. Come
Yeah.
through. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Because when we tap into what brings us joy and happiness, the money will come.
Exactly. Yes, it will.
And then the other thing, y'all, is you don't have to make your job your purpose. Your job can be your means to help you navigate
Your
your
purpose. Yeah.
right. So you can go to your job, and when you get your mindset right, you can say, okay, I'm gonna go to this job. This job is gonna give me some money, so I can do what? Look at what I value. If I value what brings me joy is cooking, I'm gonna start back cooking. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna start cooking a little bit on the side because that's giving
Mhm.
me joy. And I can start selling that, making custom things, right? Making it a real individual thing, right? And you can do that.
Yes.
But when you are chasing somebody else's dream, Lord have mercy, you miss out on your own.
Yes.
And then you look back at the end of your life when me and Denise gonna be sitting on that rocking chair on the porch, and we're gonna look back at our life, we're gonna be saying, guess what? Remember when we did that?
Yes, like we always do.
Look, we did that.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you go after something that you think is your purpose, because you might not get it right the first time. You might have to reinvent yourself. But guess what? The more times you try and the more times you pray and meditate, the clarity will come.
Yes.
And God will help you see what your purpose is for your life.
Yes.
But when you are not focused on yourself and you focusing so much on everybody else, you ain't gonna know what you want to do.
You
You
never
gonna
know.
continuously bounce around from one thing to another. Or what's even worse, you're gonna stay stuck, feeling unfulfilled, miserable, unhappy, not pursuing what your true purpose is, and wondering why you're miserable.
And look back and just say, "Oh my God, where
oh
did
my God, I wish I had just spend time." And then the other thing is, again, I've always been a person, well, when it came to material things, I never cared about what people thought about me, y'all.
Yes,
I
me.
will ride the same car. Denise know this because I think she probably told me recently, Diva, you're not gonna get a new car. Listen, I will ride wheels off that thing because
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I feel like if the body good is running, I'm good. Like I don't need a new car.
Yeah, that's
That's
me
just
too.
me. That's just me, y'all. But you know, I live by, okay, for me, I could have, my dream car. If I wanted it, I could if I made that a priority.
Mm-hmm. But it's not.
But it's not a priority right now because I realized that in order for me to make that a priority, I wouldn't have money to do something else that I want to do, right? So I like to
Yeah.
travel, y'all.
Yes.
And I like to be able to go. And so I want to make sure that I'm building a lifestyle that allows me to go. Every year in October for my birthday, y'all, I make sure part of my self-care ritual annually is to
Yes.
go
Yes, she
on
does.
a trip where I can revive, renew, and relax.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it every year. So that's what I want our caregivers to do.
Yes.
Because, sisters, when I tell you, you are worth it, it is time to prioritize you. And
Yeah.
it's more than just a title of my company, it is my motto. Because when we don't prioritize ourselves, we miss out on the life that we are meant to live. And
Yes.
I don't want any of you to miss out on the life you're supposed to live because there is no rewind. When you get to the end, there is no rewind.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you have breath, it's never too late.
Exactly.
It's never too late. So you can reinvent yourself every day if you want to.
That's so
Till
true.
you get it right. Just
Mm-hmm.
keep going and don't give up. Don't listen to, because society will have you think after a certain age, you're too old.
No,
That's a
never.
lie. Tina Turner was in her 40s when she came out with What's Love Got to Do with It, Baby, when she started all over. And
Yeah.
she was doing the dang thing. I had a professor, and I think he said he was in his 50s when he shifted careers because he decided he wanted to be an accountant. And then in his 60s, he got his PhD. It's never too late.
Yes.
You're never too late to reinvent yourself, to continue to grow and to transform. Because as long as we're living, we're blossoming.
Yes.
And ain't that a beautiful thing? So
Yeah.
to all my self-care viewers, to those of you who know people who are into self-care or caregivers, I want you to let them know to look at this recording
Yes.
and to play it back so they can be inspired to take the time to care for themselves. So there is just a few resources I want to share with you all. There is the Area Agency on Aging. It's AAA, not AAA Auto, y'all, but Area Agency on Aging. And what they do is they provide a variety of services for seniors and caregivers, from meal delivery to respite.
Mm-hmm.
So they have all that. And then there's also Family Caregiver Alliance. Family Caregiver Alliance. Now, they offer information, support, and resources as well for those caring for aged loved ones. Now, for children, got my notes. I'm going to go over here, grab my other notes. For children, they have Child Care Aware. They help families find quality child care, and they offer resources as well for caregivers. And then you have some local clubs that offer support for a nominal fee, like the Boys and Girls Club of America. I don't know about y'all, but I was part of Boys and Girls Club of America. It was great.
Yes.
And guess who else was? Denzel Washington.
Oh, it's a lot of stars. It's a lot of stars that
Yes.
part of the Boys and Girls Club. So
Yes. And if you have children with special needs, they have the ARC, which is Advocates for and Serve People with Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. That's the ARC. And then they have Easter seals listed.
Mhm.
And they provide resources and support for children with developmental delays, disabilities, and other challenges. So these are just a few, but you can definitely do research online
Yes.
to see what is available in your area. But, you know, always, you guys, take the time for self-care, especially our caregivers. We love you, caregivers. We appreciate you and we honor you on this day. And, it's time to prioritize you. Denise, what's your closing remarks for today?
Well, definitely, as Vanette said, share this, with individuals, and, just by just having this, topic today, if you, can't do some of the things like she said, get a friend, talk to them, because sometimes when you vent to other people, once you get off that phone from venting, you feel so much better, but it's so important for us as caregivers to definitely provide self-care for ourselves. You have got to do that. And there are so many ways of doing it. One way may not, work for you, but just keep trying it. Just, just keep going and do what you have to do to care for self so that you can care for others. So, and
Awesome.
I love it, this topic, today, because like I said, it has helped out a lot, you know, and with myself and the things that I have been going through, with my family. So I know that it will definitely help out a lot of other caregivers. So, as always, I always give a thumbs up to my sister because she has the topics and different things, and that's what she's all about, is helping us women to become better women and to actually to just thrive. And I love her because there's so many women out there that are so selfish, they won't help another woman. They feel like it's going to take away some of their power, or some of their clout, or things of that nature. And she is not, I was about to say self-serving, not self-serving, but self-giving to all of us. She, brings the topics that we, need to actually hear. And so I'm just thankful for her. I'm so
Thank
grateful for
you.
her and for Priority You. So
All right, y'all. Oh, and Yolanda said, believe me, as a past caregiver, yes, supportive friends and family is the key.
yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
So we are going to wrap this up, you all. And the next time we come together, let me see what topic. I'm going to go to my notes and see what topic we have for the next time we come together, because I believe it is releasing bad relationships, but I want to make sure it
Yes.
is
Yes.
on
Yeah.
August 20th, y'all. Listen, get your folks up in here because we're going to be talking about releasing bad relationships, because that's a part of self-care.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes you got to know how to cut it,
Yep.
cut it, left it, brush it off your shoulders, get rid of that thing. You know what I mean? So join us August 20th, 4 o'clock. Be here. Have your sister girls here, because we want to help women as a part of self-care and prioritizing you. Learn to release those bad relationships, y'all.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you so much. It's been an honor. I love you, Denise.
Love you
Love
too.
you, Yo-Yo. Thank you, Stacy, for showing up. And
Bye,
to all the part of you family, have a blessed one. Bye, y'all.
everyone.